Hey y'all, JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, we got to tap into some Bravo content, just a little piece. We got to get into Miss Toya of Married to Medicine, where she kind of sits down with Angela Yee and she talks about her husband, her family dynamics, and money, of course, because it's always a conversation about Toya and her finances. And she kind of clued the people in on just a little piece when it comes to the financial aspect of her and Eugene. Okay, so we're going to check that out, but we also got to talk about Miss Charisse, that son of hers, and Miss Ashley Darby. All right, because y'all know when it comes to Charisse and Ashley, Charisse learned on the show that Ashley and her son had some type of little fling or whatever they had going on. Okay, Charisse came out, gave her thoughts about the matter at hand. She also goes on to have an interview with Carlos King where she kind of lets us know she's been hearing more things behind the scenes when it comes to Ashley and her son. So that's the real reason why she got a problem with her, okay? And Ashley even came out to give her little spiel too. And we're going to check all of that out, all right? So y'all, let's just go ahead, like up the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us tap into Miss Toya first. So let's go over here and see what Miss Toya has to say.
Does it bother you when people say that? Because I've seen that, like, oh, he's got to work so hard because she wants this house and she wants the cherry
I think the people just mad, you know, and I don't know why. Because we as Black women deserve all of that. We deserve a man that's like, I want to take care of you. We deserve to have a man that is intelligent and that is setting the way for our children. You know what I'm saying? He is a great example to follow. And so why are you hating on this man for wanting to spoil his wife?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. I make a lot of money and he knows it.
Well, let's be clear. All right, Miss Toya, I like me some Toya down, honey. I'm not even finna hold y'all. I like me some Toya down. But what I'm also going to say, Toya, it's not that people are hating on Eugene. Now, I could see if you said they were hating on you or something because you got a man that wants to do for you. But I don't think it's that they're hating on Eugene. I think they're just calling attention to the fact that this man works himself into the ground. And sometimes on the show, you come off as though you're never really happy or satisfied, right? You want all of these lavish things. And then when he goes to work hard to take care of those lavish things that you desire, then it's a problem. It's always as if he's doing too much of something or not doing enough of something. And I think that's just what the fans call out. I don't think people are really hating on Eugene. But if y'all feel that way, let us know in the comments why you may feel like people do hate on Eugene. I think Eugene is a great guy. In my personal, okay, I don't really see Eugene raise his voice. He seemed to be unbothered by a lot of stuff, but he's more so like mild-tempered. He takes care of business. I just think that Eugene is a dope guy in my personal, and I like him and Toya together, but let's keep going. But hating, that may be a stretch.
You know what I'm saying? I just told him the other day, I said, hey, you should be very happy. You don't have to pay for any of this. You know what I'm saying? But when I need you to, you can. And I appreciate that.
How do you guys split the finances? Because I think
Did y'all hear that? Toya said you don't have to pay for any of this, but when I need you, you can. So a lot of us feel like, Toya, where you get money from? You ain't got no money. I think sometimes people do forget that she does have her Married to Medicine money. But in addition to that, we don't really know what else Toya may have invested in that also brings money into the household. So it appears that Toya got some coin. And I would want to believe that it's more coin than she got from Real Housewives. I'm sorry, Married to Medicine. But if she did get it from Married to Medicine, maybe she managed her money right, unlike some people that have come across the show. Okay, so let's get back into it.
that's always interesting. No, you know why? Because
I wanted to know too.
I talk about finances a lot when it comes to, like I have a Wealth Wednesday segment on my other show. And so finances, I think, are a big thing when we think about like getting married and like this person makes this, I make this, but how, and there's always that conversation.
So let's be clear, that's the first time anyone has ever asked me that question. And so I can appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the floor to tell y'all all about it. Okay, so how we started. I was, when we first married, a pharmaceutical rep, and I only paid for the electrical bill, the cable bill, the small bills. That
you
was
like, turn that heat on.
Right, about $80. If the bill was under 100, that was my bill, okay?
Who ordered Netflix?
Right, exactly. Now, it's not like that. Okay, so I paid for my son's tuition, which is about $30,000 per kid. I pay for anything they have to do as far as their clothing. I pay for all of our homes, any down payments for our homes, any furniture. Yes,
that's a lot.
Yes, but he pays the mortgage.
Okay, but that down payment's a big chunk.
Oh, baby, that down payment. I think I misspoke and said $400,000 on ETV, but it was really $600,000. Eugene, he corrected me later. He was like, no, what you put down was $600,000.
How did y'all come to that conversation?
Toya paid $60,000 for her kids to go to school, any clothing and anything, and down payment on the homes. Let me tell y'all why I don't disagree with this. Because BITCH, if you want us to hop into a new home every time, you better put the damn down payment down. God. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know how Toya been finessing this because I'm wanting to believe that she has made money off of selling those houses, right? The houses they stayed in, they sold, they made money. She probably let it stack up. I don't know if she's putting it in a brokerage account, getting a little coin. I don't know what the hell Toya doing. But whatever it is, it seems like Toya been sitting back, kicking her ankles up, okay, crossing her ankles, and laughing when people try to say she ain't got no job, she ain't doing nothing. And do she got more money than some of the doctors on the show? She just not loud with it like others. So it comes off as though Eugene is the one paying for everything and being stressed the hell out when she's coming to the table with a whole lot. Oh my, listen, Toya, listen, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
An agreement.
When I said we're moving, he said, okay.
You're paying for it.
Thank you.
Let me go back a little bit.
How did you
says 400,000 on ETV, but it was really 600,000. Eugene, he corrected me later. He was like, no, what you put down was 600,000.
How did y'all come to that conversation and agreement?
When I said we're moving, he said, okay.
You're paying for it.
Thank you.
But even initially, how did y'all, like even when y'all were just starting?
When we had built that house, we both loved our first home that we built, but we didn't know that it wasn't a custom build. So we ended up building the second home in Alpharetta, Georgia. Shout out to Alpharetta. And we're over there and it was great, but you know, I just didn't feel like that was the end all be all. The housing market was booming. And when I tell you, my neighbors were making millions of dollars off old homes. And I was like, well, just think about how much we could make.
Right.
Ours is only 2 years old. Right. And it was great. And so he was like, as long as you're doing it and it makes sense. And so I was like, well, let me just find something closer to our boys' school, the bus. Because at the time we were driving them further. Yeah. And it was about a 30-minute commute in the morning, 30-minute home. Right. And I was just, and that was to the bus. And then they
still have to get to school, right?
To go to school. And y'all get that life. Because that's how New York,
Yeah, we know how that commute. Yeah. When I used to do mornings and be at work at like 5 a.m., it was a 15-minute drive. Now it's an hour.
Exactly.
It's a whole...
And Atlanta's traffic, if you have not been, it is not pretty. So you always are.
I don't know if anything compares to New York traffic though. Really? Sometimes I'd be like, let me just get on the train.
Atlanta's highway traffic is insane. It's worse than LA.
Yeah. Because sometimes in New York, you'll be stuck on one block for like 20 minutes. On one block.
Atlanta traffic, you might be stuck in between exits that long.
And the crazy part is you're stuck from not even 5 o'clock. You're stuck from like 3:30 to like 7.
It's not a game.
Atlanta doesn't have rush hour. It's just all the time. Everything. It's all day, every day.
Yes.
It could be Saturday night after the club and it's traffic because they doing construction on the highway. Especially now that FIFA is coming there, the World Cup and everything, they fixing everything up. Yeah.
So it's construction. Like, look,
it's construction and shit everywhere.
And the way the construction companies be finessing, I don't care what nobody say. It's like all that money y'all be getting, y'all really need to hire more workers. And then y'all probably need to stop taking on so many damn tasks, which is why this project over here can't get done because you got to move your people and have them over here on this side working on some shit. Baby, the way the construction companies be finessing and making bread, I can't blame them. But I damn sure get frustrated by it when I'm trying to get somewhere. Like, bitch, can y'all hurry up and get this shit taken care of? Like, why is it taking y'all so long? Okay, and y'all probably milking the hell out them companies as y'all take y'all time completing projects. Anyway, let me see if they're going to let Toya get back to her story, though.
Yeah, they really cleaning it up, though.
And they about to make some money.
Again.
Yeah. And listen, you also launched your own wine.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, boom. They didn't get back to the story because I wanted to hear more about Toya's finances and what the hell she paying out. But Miss Mom, that's what I said. I said, Toya and them got to have some kind of money to be hopping in and out these damn houses. Now, because they last house that they sold, I thought it sold for over $1 million and some dollars from my understanding. Maybe the report said it was $2 million, not sure. Whatever it was, they did must have made some money off of it. And my personal for Toya to put off she said she put down $600,000 on the new house. So then my question is, with her putting down that $600,000 on the new house, how much was that new house, right? And did they step into the home with equity because they put down such a large amount on the home? You know what I'm saying? And then therefore with them putting down likely that much or even over that amount, it could have lowered their monthly payments, right? And they might be in a position, who knows, to pay that shit off much sooner than what a lot of us may think, because I don't know what Toya get paid over there. But obviously Toya got the money, is what it sounds like. Okay, and all her husband got to do is take care of the mortgage. But I'm also wondering, Toya, is he just taking care of the mortgage while you're taking care of the minor bills, the other bills in the house, as well as the sons and all of this or that? I wonder. I don't know, because she might have him just taking care of the mortgage and the rest of his money. Let's just put the rest of your money up for savings at this point, and then I can afford and I can manage this right here. So let me manage those things over. I don't know what Toya doing, but it's given she might be a little bit of more business savvy and financially more sound in that area, because they had their tax issue at once upon a time, and with them having the tax issue, child, I would be trying to be on top of my at that point, for sure. Like, why we owe this much, how we owe this much, what can we do to never find ourselves in this situation again? And at this point, I want to always have coin. Okay. And what other things can I do to make sure I don't owe this much in taxes next year? So I don't know. But shout out to Toya. I got to give her credit. I would like to know more about where the finances come. Of course, it sounds like to me it's coming from that Bravo check as well as her flipping these damn houses, okay? So that must be where Toya got her money. Ain't no telling what else she got, but I love it. I love that. Just a little piece, okay? I love that. Good for you, just a little bit. So we're going to see if she's going to be able to flip this next house or if they're going to stay in it, because she does talk about her sons getting older. They about to eventually go off to college. The colleges that they are looking at are in like the north, okay, on this coast, but more so the north coast. And so she's like, I don't know, we might end up selling this big old house too and go find something closer to where my son's going to school at. Ain't no telling. All right. I doubt that. But you never know. I mean, she might stay rooted in Georgia. Likely. Because Toya, I know you from Detroit, but are you really going to be able to deal with that weather after being a Southern girl for so long? Like, are you going to, I wouldn't, I couldn't do it. Honestly, I shout out to all the people up north that deal with that cold ass weather and the snow, and y'all know how to drive it in and all that and the ice and shit. Like, girl, miss me with all of that. What? Miss me with it. I'll see you on your breaks, okay? And I'll FaceTime you regularly, okay? I want not for the uproot to go up there and deal with that cold. That's crazy. But anywho, outside of that, that's what's going on with Toya. Love that for her. Now I want us to tap into the Charisse situation, her and Ashley. So first of all, Ashley messing around with Charisse's husband. I've been told y'all that for me, Ashley did more than just kiss that lady's son. I already knew that. Later on in the latest episode, she came and she was like, oh, well, you'll be okay if it was a little bit more. Yeah, because you about hunched on that lady's son. I need you to stop being so much of a freak-a-leak. So much of a freak-a-leak that you would sit up there and deal with this lady's child. It's too many men out here. It's too many men out here. And then at the time that you about finagled and messed with that little boy, when you still with Michael? Or was y'all at the top of y'all separation, I guess? Anyway, I'm just like, I think Ashley met the guy when he was in his teens or something like that. Or maybe they've known each other longer than that. But I think that they may have met somewhere in the teens. But she knew him when he was a kid. Like, I couldn't. Everybody's set up differently, though. Like, it's obviously Ashley is set up differently. Because it's like, girl, would you really want one of your cast members to go on and try and mess with Dean or Dylan as they got older? Let's say you on the show for a minute and then your son is 15. Your oldest son is 15. You done got a new cast member on the show that you thinking you good with. And then now that he's become of age in his 20s or something, she started messing with him. Now, Ashley, you would take offense to that, but you know you wouldn't have much to say about it considering the fact that you did the same shit. So you would have to let it ride so that you can excuse the actions of what you did. But you won't want nobody else doing that to you. Okay? But that's what's going on. Now, when everybody on social media started to come out and share their thoughts on things, this is what Charisse had to say about the matter at hand, okay?
That you were very sweet that night and drove me home, and then we had a little smooch goodnight.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Child, please. So Charisse says, I honestly didn't believe it. One thing I know for sure is that no matter how I respond, people will take issue. She not lying. I don't know why y'all dislike Charisse so much. I don't know what Charisse has done to the people for y'all to be like, I can't stand Charisse. She always want to come down for a moment and Charisse this and Charisse that. But then we sit up here and we praise Karen. And then y'all sit up here and then y'all praise Mo. And then some of y'all even sit up here and praise Ashley. I am confusion on what Charisse really did as to why people don't like her. Because every single one of these people on this show are with fault. But y'all go crazy when Charisse just pops in. Like, I'm just like, what? Anywho, right? They go on and say, at this point, I am 60, she says, just want to pop in and have fun with this group of ladies. I don't mind meaningful conversations, but to flip out just for cameras over fake or petty issues is not my thing. Now, when she did the interview with Carlos, she said that people wanted her to like really go into Ashley's SHI and like really snap on her and all of that other stuff. And she didn't think that that was necessary, right? But for me, it's not that we want you to go off or attack Ashley. It's you showing real discomfort, because I would have, like, I'd be uncomfortable. Like, girl, you what? Like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't really like that, right? But we felt like you gave not much of a reaction at all. So much so that when your son did come to the event, you were like, look, hey, Ashley, look who's here. And it showed and it gave off to us, especially me, that you were in support of what happened between the both of them. Right? You didn't seem as bothered. So now that you're coming out, it does kind of give to some of us that you're only bothered because of what the audience said. But then with this interview with Carlos, she kind of mentioned some other stuff that made me be like, oh, well, maybe I get it. You still could have said something, though. You know, but let's keep going. So somebody says, I totally understand your point of view, and you're right. No matter what, we do enjoy seeing you from time to time, regardless whether or not it happened. Her even suggesting it did on camera, in my opinion, was a way to embarrass you. I have a 24-year-old son, and if someone said something like that to me, I would find it highly disrespectful. She's not your friend, but I'm assuming you already know that, right? That's what one person said to her. I don't know if this was something to embarrass Charisse by. I don't know if it was something for her to embarrass Charisse by, because if anything, Ashley embarrassed herself. So was it to embarrass her? So Charisse responded, says, you make a valid point. I can see the disrespect now. At the time of filming, I didn't believe it. One thing I do know for certain is that there are no real friendships in this business. Somebody says, I don't understand why you're not a full-time housewife. You created this group, right? Correct. She said, the person says, I think a return would really shake the whole group up and your audience misses you. Ashley needs to go. She has served her purpose. What that purpose is exactly has yet to be determined. I'm hollering. So Charisse says, I was totally oblivious to how this game is played, and a lot of ruthless cutthroat players. It's crazy. They smile in your face while having a dagger placed in your back. Okay. So this is what Charisse is having to say about the situation at hand. Okay. She's really disappointed. She doesn't like it. I don't know how this was made to like embarrass her. Right. But let's keep going, because I want y'all to hear part of this sit down that she had with Carlos King. So let us check this out real quick.
Ashley has been lying for 10 years. So when she's saying this to me, I'm honestly waiting for the prank or
not the prank.
I did not believe her. And in my head, I'm thinking, I know she is not that desperate for a storyline, that she's bringing my son into this. For the record, my friends, none of them would ever do such a thing. The way that I grew up, when your friends' kids become your kids, you know what I'm saying? No matter what the age is, they become your kids. And so to be interested in your friend's kid that you now consider like a brother or nephew, it's ancestral to me. Part of me wants so bad to believe that this is just another stunt of hers and that it's not true. But
let me pause right here. Charisse says that, you know, she knows Ashley wouldn't do this for like a storyline or something like that. And some part of me is like, a storyline for what, when you weren't really on the show that much for it to be a storyline? But at the same time, I do agree with her, because this is the same Ashley Darby that brought that white guy on the show just to break up with him and embarrass him, only for her to say that they're back to dating. Like, huh? And this is the same girl that brought her mama on the show to embarrass her yet again. Then she also brought a sister on the show, only to talk about a situation that really ain't our business for real, but you're talking about it with your sister, who's also not a cast member of the show, and got her up here crying about her sorry ass daddy. It's like Ashley would bring up something for a storyline or a piece, because she has nothing else going on. And I think she does need a break. So maybe she did do this, right? And maybe it could have been a benefit for her and Charisse to try to get Charisse back in the fold, although Charisse doesn't really want to be in the fold anymore. But to bring her into the fold of, oh, let's have an issue about the fact that I was kicking it with your son, Right. But then also a storyline for her of, oh, yeah, I was kicking it with this lady's son, yada, yada, yada. She probably just didn't expect it to go the route that it did go. But let's keep going.
You know, I was talking to Robyn the other day and she said, well, don't be naive, Charisse. Don't be naive, you know, because
does Robyn think it's true?
Well, yeah, of course she does. Probably talk to Gizelle. That's where Robyn would know her information from.
If the roles were reversed, that if a man was friends with a guy and his daughter was 15 when he met her and then started kissing her at 25 and he's 35, a lot of people would not have this the same reaction they're having with Ashley.
Well, a lot of us are upset with Ashley for the most part, or I ain't gonna say upset, but disappointed because it is gross on either side. But I see the point that he's trying to make. I think he would have expected the outrage to be bigger because had this been a guy, you know, it would have been more elevated, right? Would have been more heightened. It would be all kind of think pieces everywhere. And I guess they're not seeing as much of a reaction with Ashley Darby.
And Jackson.
Baby, let this have been Candiace, though. Go ahead,
Would you
girl.
say that there is this double standard when it comes to that?
Absolutely. If a 30 or older, 10-year-older guy came on to one of Gizelle's daughters, it wouldn't have happened. Even the standards are different for different people too. Like on the show, if someone would have made out with Gizelle's, one of her daughters, we probably wouldn't have heard about it because they wouldn't have wanted that trashiness on the show.
Reality with the king is...
Baby, I agree with that and I believe it because the way they packed Mia up, the way Mia was about to expose her daughters, Gizelle's daughters, about sneaking them boys in when they went out of town. Yeah. I'm trying to recall other things that Miss Charisse talked about in her interview. She talks about how she did not want to be on the show or doesn't want to be on the show. That ship has really sailed for her. But at the same time, she kind of mentions certain moments that she felt they could have used for footage. And I'm just kind of like, but if you don't want to be on a show like that, then why would they even use that footage, especially if you're not even a main cast member? Like, it's not much relevance to us. Because she was talking about like a fun time the girls were having and she got everybody to really be on some friendly stuff and it wasn't all this, you know, negativity and hazing and stuff that we see on the show. But I'm like, for what? You're not, if you were leading the charge on that, you're not a main cast member, so why? Right? She also talked about Stacey and how she really liked Stacey. She said, I really like Stacey, you know, but there was something that I guess she said to somebody, or at least somebody went back and told Stacey something. She wouldn't say who the person was, but I really believe it was Gizelle or Karen. The more she talked, I believe Karen went back, had a conversation with Stacey. In my opinion, it could have been either or, but it was definitely one of the two. Went back, had a conversation with Stacey saying that Charisse said certain things about her, right? And she's been knowing Charisse has been knowing Stacey for years, right? Even before she got on Potomac. I think even before Potomac started, she said. And so the person went back, said certain things. And so at Gizelle's event, it was like Stacey wasn't really feeling Charisse or really wasn't talking to her. So Charisse said she felt like, well, since you mad at me and I ain't even doing that to you or whatever, then hey, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about you. And it's like, it was so not necessary. So it does, I mean, like, if you really felt like you didn't do anything wrong, then why would you still try and sock it to her? And it seems like you're mad at her for reacting to what was told to her versus being upset with the person that gave her the false information. So what is the point of even saying, yeah, I was with her and you know what she said? She was like, she didn't care about And it's like, nah, you just trying to take on the charge of being a shady bitch like the rest of these ladies. Only for these ladies to not even be seen as your damn friend as you go on in this interview to say that you don't feel like they really were your friends like that. You don't really consider them friends, which is also interesting. But you slighted Stacey, but didn't want to say that you like Stacey and you told Stacey, you gave Stacey pointers or whatever, and she listened to everything you said and you think that she's great for the show and this, that, and the other. It's like, I don't know, Charisse, some stuff did not make that much sense. Okay, so in that aspect, I see why people may be frustrated with you with that piece. But honestly, to me, you don't do much different than what a lot of these damn ladies on the show do. But I guess you don't have that pretty privilege like others, so they're not going to go up for you. Either way, that's something that she highlighted. She also highlighted the fact that she was at a concert with, I guess, one of her kids. She got like a conference call with somebody like the third season or whatever, saying, hey, you don't share enough of your life, so we're going to bump you down to friend of the show. Coming to find out, some of the ladies, and Gizelle was involved, allegedly. Gizelle and likely Karen had something to do with that. They was over there involved in the situation, saying certain stuff, and it resulted in her being bumped down. And so, of course, she said she should have known from that moment that they weren't really her friends or whatever. But yeah, she ended up being bumped down from that. And I guess the ladies tried to, like, they felt bad when they tried to go back and reverse what they did. It was that then they can do, which makes sense to me, which is why they're always trying to kind of like introduce her on the show, because they're trying to make up for some SHI, like always inviting her to events or whatever. And people like, here goes Charisse. She trying to be around, da-da-da-da-da. But these ladies, according to her, kind of slighted her. So they're constantly bringing her around. Right? But then also, if you don't want to be on the show, then why continue to come around? But it sounds like she do want to be on the show, just not in the capacity in which she was on the show. But then you can't be a friend of the show and then be expecting full-time privileges. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really make sense. Right? But that's one thing she got going on. But she does go on to talk about how she felt like Gizelle and Karen tried to ice her out. And this may be the very situation I'm talking about. So let us go ahead and check out this clip. Oh, you know what? Before I get into this, because I don't want to forget, I want to go back to Ashley Darby real quick. And with Ashley Darby, what Charisse said, she didn't believe some of the information that was going out. She didn't ask her son about it or anything, right? She kind of didn't want to know. And she's saying till this day, she still didn't ask. Some part of me is like, well, then ask him why you being so damn mad. But also at the same time, she says that Ashley has been going around telling people that she has sex with this lady's child more than one time. Okay? With her son more than one time, and that he's good in bed. This is what she's been going around telling people. And Charisse is feeling like, if you're my friend, like, you just want to do that. Like, it's one thing for y'all to have y'all encounter or whatever, but to go around telling everybody about that, like, it's cringe, right? So because of this, Charisse feels like Ashley really is not her friend. She does say she understands the fact that these two are grown people and they partook in grown stuff, but it's the fact that I saw you as a friend, and usually, you know, I'm not operating like that with my friends' kids. So I would expect my friends to not operate like that with my kids. And the fact that you are and you're going around bragging and talking about it is what makes me have more reservations when it comes to you. And you're also a person that's known to be a liar. And because Ashley is known to be a liar is the reason why Charisse said she didn't originally believe what was being said. I don't know why. I don't know. You could have just asked your son to validate that. Now she did say Jackson would never really tell. So I think Jackson would have just stopped it at the kiss. He probably would not have told her about how far it really got. Then she says when Ashley said that Jackson grabbed her and pulled him into her, she said, that's not even something my son would do. But here's the thing, though. Although I too don't believe Ashley's ass when she said that, I also know that kids show up one way with you and then one way with another person that they talking to or whatever they got going on with. Must be two sides. Hello? But either way, let's get back over here so that we can check out what it is Charisse had to say about Gizelle and Karen.
I came in the first season, and I don't want to sound like I'm
bitter.
No, not bitter, but superficial.
Oh. Okay.
I had the nicest home. Those girls didn't even have attorneys. I did their contracts. My attorneys did their contracts. Okay. Everything was in my home. Our photo shoot was in my house. The show, there was, you know how it is. First season shows, there's not a lot of money. So all these things, it seemed like, I think it looked like it was about me, and people decided, no, we're going to make it about us. Karen and Gizelle aligned and decided we're going to erase Charisse. They created a whole new narrative. Okay.
When I tell you, I believe all of this, I feel like they've done it too damn much. I feel like they did it too damn much. I didn't care for Monique at all, and still wavering with that. But they did that with her when she got into the fight with Candiace. Right? I feel like they were going to push Candiace to the point that she got to where she left the show as well. Like that was the whole goal, which is also interesting because I believe that Candiace and Karen are back good. Karen sent her a message on Twitter. Candiace reposted it. They seem to be in a much better place. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely believe that. Definitely believe that. And another thing Charisse talked about in this interview, she talked about how Ashley and Gizelle, because she asked Robyn something and she said that she got that information from Gizelle. Same thing with Ashley. Basically, she says that Ashley and Gizelle loves to come up with storylines and stuff for other people and never for themselves. They do this hazing thing. They do all this messy SHI. And the crazy thing for me is the fact that they get away with it. And y'all bump Charisse down to friend of because she doesn't show her life. Meanwhile, what does Gizelle give us? And now look at what Ashley is giving us. Right? She also talks about how she don't understand why everybody just don't like her. Right? She remember people trying to align her with the whole Monique and the baby daddy thing. And she's like, I didn't even start that rumor. Her best friend did. Right? And she says that she did talk to that best friend and she only told Robyn about the situation. And Robyn did whatever and it got to the show from that point. But at the end of the day, whether Charisse wasn't involved at all, the best friend is the problem. Because the best friend would have gave the information to whoever wanted it. It didn't have to be her talking to Charisse. She about talked to Gizelle and Robyn on her damn own, and it came from the best friend, right? But I just don't understand. I feel like Charisse, to me, wasn't on the show that damn long for people to be so upset over her. I just want to understand why people don't like her. And it really makes me question, do you have valid reasons as to why you don't like her, or you don't like her because you see everybody else on social media that don't like her, so now you like, I don't like her? You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all, I know y'all ready to answer that. So please do in the comments, okay? But let's keep going.
And you probably don't know this, Carlos. Like at one point, now imagine this. I'm like a self-appointed casting person for the show, okay? I'm setting up meetings in Starbucks, meeting people, because at first we were trying to make it Potomac people. And I told them from the door, I said, Potomac people are not going to do this show. They don't have to. You know what I'm saying? They're not. And so it got to a point, I'm interviewing these people, I'm having casting parties. It was fun for me, you know? And like I said, I called Gizelle. Robyn, I called everybody. I didn't call Ashley. Ashley, I didn't know Ashley. But everybody else on the cast was a result of me. And
Karen said she was not a result of you. I never heard Ashley say that she wasn't a result, but I've heard Karen say that she was not a result of Charisse. Right? So I don't know.
Some capacity, right? But then when you go to shoot the pilot, you come up with an idea to eliminate Charisse. They were trying to make it Jack and Jill. I'm the only one that's not Jack and Jill, okay? Giselle's Jack and Jill. Karen's Jack and Jill. Ashley wasn't Jack and Jill. But she had
and Katie was on the...
and they were trying to get Katie... They were recruiting Katie to get her kids involved in Jack and Jill. That was a storyline. However, and my thing is, how are we doing? I'm not a part of Jack and Jill. Like, how you come? That was the beginning of trying to exclude me from the from the group. You know,
you felt that even during the pilot, you feel strongly that even then, before the show got greenlit, before the show been aired. Yeah. You've always felt that Gizelle and Karen were trying to ice you out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Gizelle gives Karen
the. Let me say this: I will never understand why people do that, and I don't know if it's a task of producers or something. But I feel like she may not have been like the creator of the show, but she was instrumental in helping people find. Or helping the producers find cast for the show. Then you got the cast, those very cast members planning to ice her out. I believe this story. It's happened too many times to me in the Bravo world for her to be lying in this moment, right? It happened with Mariah. Mariah created Married to Medicine. Of course, they wanted to snatch that from her, but she fought for that, right? Her credits for creating Married to Medicine, and they gave it to her. But those same cast members that she helped put on iced her out. I feel like similar things happen with NeNe, right? NeNe helped them pick and choose people for this show. And then over time, she became the op that I feel like they tried to push out. Now, part of it with NeNe, I do feel like NeNe got the big head, but she kind of already had that big head. She always felt like she was bigger than the program, right? And I don't really fault NeNe for that. Now I think about it because, I mean, she's still extremely relevant to this day. You know, we use her memes all the time. A lot of her sayings, you know what I'm saying? Like, we still, like, she still be doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but still, I feel like there may have been a little bit of icing out. And I feel like when she started to get to that place, and y'all correct me, she started to branch out. Let me go over here and do Glee, and let me go over here and do this, that, I see what y'all doing. So let me make my footprints in other areas. So just in case y'all do a good job of getting me the hell out of here, I got other things that I could go to, right? But she ended up being, I'm not gonna say her own downfall, but she ended up having her own hand in getting exited from the show, right? Because she felt like she deserved more, or whatever the case was. I think they cut her filming. They were trying to give her less than her check. So because I guess the cast weren't successful in getting Nene out of that position, I feel like producers and whoever the creators were, and whoever were sending out these checks, played a role by giving her less screen time. Less screen time equals less money. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, it's a common thing with these Bravo wives, these ladies, where a person will be instrumental in either creating the show or casting the show, and then at some point that cast wants to turn on that person and get them out. She's saying that she thinks this started to take place well before they started filming or whatever the case, or the show aired. I believe what she's saying.
The name Grand Dame, that was because that was her. Oh yeah, for sure. Like Gizelle gives Karen the name Grand Dame. That was because that was her way of dimming my light, so to speak.
I believe that. I believe that. Just like she turned around and tried to give Grand Dame from Karen to, was it Ineka or somebody else that was living in Potomac that was doing good for themselves? Like, that's what Gizelle does, okay? That's completely her MO, if you understand what I'm saying, okay? But that's all that I got. It's time for you guys to chime in. Oh, no, it's not. Girl, why am I saying that's all I got? How can I end on that note and we not get into what Miss Ashley Darby says? Shame on me. I ain't going nowhere yet. Let us go ahead and check out Miss Ashley Darby and what she had to say about everything. Because y'all know Charisse came out. Y'all know Angel has kind of said a few things. So let's hear what Ashley Darby has to say.
To go to my friend's New Year's Eve party. But then today, Corey came at 7 a.m. to do my hair. We have the Trans-Siberian Orchestra this afternoon, and then we're seeing the Grinch on stage. It's just a lot of appreciation of the arts today for me and the little Darby clan. So I just want to take this moment. I don't usually come to social media. It's not my thing. This is not what I have social media for, but there's obviously a lot of discourse about me. I will say that I appreciate people who maintain the same energy that they had during the season and the off season. I find it very odd for people who get all buck when the cameras go down. Very strange behavior to me. Number one.
Baby, one thing that Ashley Darby gonna do, she gonna get smart with you. Okay? She may not know how to throw hands or be ready to throw them, but she gonna clap back. Okay, and I feel like she was talking to Angel. I find it very funny that people want to get buck now that the show is over with. And maybe that was a little bit of a subliminal to Charisse too, because it's like, girl, you ain't give that energy when y'all were filming. Now that it's over, you're all upset and everything. But part of that is because Charisse is saying that she's learned more about what you've been saying out here in these streets, and it's disappointing her as your friend. So there's that.
One. Number two, I am a consenting adult, thankfully, who only engages with other consenting adults. And if we want to get into the nuances of that, that's fine. But consenting adult to consenting adult, always and forever, okay?
At the end of the day, girl, consenting is not so much as the issue. And it may be for some, which is why she's saying what she's saying, because maybe she has seen comments on her page about her messing with somebody that's a child or a kid, even though he a grown-ass man, honestly, right? But it's still somebody else's son. Maybe she's been seeing certain things on her timeline for her to address those, right? But at the end of the day, girl, like I said, you was messing with that lady's son. And would you like it if a cast member that you met around that same time, or you working with them, right? They met your child around that same time, and then years later, they messing with them? Like, you Ashley wouldn't like that. She'll find that very odd. And I can see Ashley to this day getting ready to confront that person about why they thought it was okay. Because Ashley has confronted people for less. So she would definitely do that if it was her kid. Right? or even just feel a way in general about it. Now, like I said, she may try and act like it's all good to justify her actions at this time, right? But all in all, like it's just cringe to me. But no.
So that's it, y'all. That's all I'm going to say about the issue right now. I'm not one to engage on social media like that. It's never been my forte. I will be perched and ready sitting on the couch at the reunion.
Ooh.
I'm happy for anyone else who needs to use this opportunity for their 15 minutes of fame. Love for you to have that. Enjoy that.
Ooh. She's talking to Charisse.
I also can acknowledge and take ownership of something that I maybe did wrong in a situation, but what I will not take ownership of is a false rumor or narrative about me that is completely untrue.
But you can perpetuate and put false fucking narratives and rumors out there about somebody else like you tried to do with Stacey. But now that it's your fucking turn, now that it's your turn though, right? I'm not going to perpetuate, but you will do it about somebody else though. Oh, okay.
I abide by the law. I respect the law. I don't do anything that violates the law, and I'm going to continue that way. So let's not perpetuate that because it's never been true and never will be true. Okay?
So that's what Miss Ashley Darby had to say, okay? She abided by the law, so legally she is within her rights, but as far as character, it's given flawed as hell. You know what I'm saying? It don't give right, okay, in my personal. But I'll let y'all argue about that down below in the comments. I just wanted to come to y'all real quick, let you guys hear what Charisse had to say as well as what Miss Darby had to say as well. And you guys can now have at it. I'm Jami, that's me. Be sure to like up the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And honey, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, tell them I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can feel it pull.